I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing, take me.
Hello y'all and welcome to Yakety Mac. So tournament number 6 of the season is already in the books, and I had my best showing of the year. Now I didn't have to clear a very high bar given the fact that I had skunked 4 of the first 5 events of the year. But anyway, I banished the skunk this past weekend. I'm going to share some footage of that with you, and I'm going to share some details. And then I'm going to tell you why I believe my new Jackson Big Rig was a contributing factor, a big contributing factor to my improved performance. So let me set the stage for y'all. We were fishing this body of water, Gunnison Creek, Steele Creek. It's kind of long and narrow, and you had your choice of launching from 2 different ramps. I chose to launch on the north side and fish my way up into Steele Creek. Now, I was the only angler that did so I had that whole area to myself all day. So at 5:30 a.m. it is lines in, and I started off with throwing this right here, which is the Z-Man version of a fluke. You know, Z-Man has weird names for their stuff. This is like a Dart Z or something or whatever, but basically it's a 6-inch Z-Man fluke. And I alternated between that and my favorite topwater, which is the Yozuri Pencil Walker. And shortly after 6 o'clock, I got my first fish right here. And I got him on the Z-Man fluke. Now, this was a non-scoring fish. He was only 10.5 inches, but still, something about catching a fish early really does good for the psyche. And since I hit him on the fluke, I'm like, okay, fluke it is. So I continued to work my way up north in this creek when I came across this area that I can best describe as like a pocket. So I'm on the main creek area, and then through some trees and shrubs, I could see an area of water that had a lot of lily pads and grass and what appeared to be timber. And so the problem is that in order to get to it, you were going to have to squeeze your way through all these trees and shrubs and everything. And I said to myself out loud, and this is where I give credit to Jackson, I said, hey, and this is what I bought the boat for. I'm going in. And so not having to worry about rods sticking up 6-7 feet behind me, or not having to worry about pulling my prop up like I would in my old town. In fact, this is an area that I would have looked at with envy in my old town, but kept on going. But I did. I went right on in, and you can see here, it was not a problem at all. So once I got back into this little area, saw all the lily pads, I tied on a horny toad and threw that over the top for 10 or 15 minutes or so. Didn't get any reaction with that, so I went back to the fluke. And within a few minutes of that, I landed my second fish, my first scoring fish of the day. So this felt nice to land that fish, and there was a lot of fish activity going on inside this area that I was in. And so I continued throwing the fluke around. And shortly after, just a few minutes after, I got my scoreable fish number 2. And so I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm like, hey, this is cool. I've got 2 fish. And both of them on the fluke, 3 fish total. And so I decided to keep throwing it. And so a few minutes after that, I got this fish right here. So this is my 3rd scoreable fish of the day. We're about 2 hours in at this point, and I start thinking, hey, I'm going to get my first ever 5 fish limit. I've never limited with 5 fish before, 12-inch minimum. And so I'm thinking I'm going to get there, right? But I made a rookie mistake, guys. I continued throwing the fluke around for another 20, 30 minutes maybe, and I didn't get any more bites in this pocket. So I left and continued my way on up the creek. Hindsight, kind of doing a post-mortem of the tournament afterwards, I'm like, why did you not throw a swim bait with an underspin around the lily pads? Why did you not throw a Texas rig worm up around some of the bush or whatever? The fish showed you that they were there. Why did you leave, moron? And so, lesson learned. But I had blinders on. I was catching fish on the fluke, and I felt like that's what I needed to keep going with. And so I changed it out and went with changed the Z-Man fluke over to a Yum, I believe they call them a Houdini shad. Still a fluke, but it's got the flat tail on it. But I wanted something that would sink a little bit deeper as the sun was starting to raise in the sky. And about 9 o'clock or so, I cast up in this bush area here, and almost as soon as the lure hit the water, I saw the line take off running, and I had fish number 4 in the boat. But it was barely. He was just 12 inches, but still, it's a scoreable fish. And so I'm excited now. I've got 4 fish on the board, and the day's still fairly young. So I continued to work my way up north, targeting the same sort of cover. Anytime I would see laydowns, I did switch up a little bit. I would throw a jig near some laydowns, or I had a tube rigged up on a shaky head, an extra wide gap shaky head rig. But I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get anything happening on those. And so about 10 o'clock, I landed this fish. Unfortunately, he did not score. But I think now I am 6 fish in on the day and feeling pretty good. I'm going to keep working this area. I'm going to keep working that fluke. And so I go into this kind of shaded pocket, and I'm still throwing the fluke, and I landed this fish right here. Now this fish was a little bit of a heartbreaker because I could get it to touch 12 inches, but I couldn't get it to stay long enough for me to get a picture of him. I had his nose up against the edge of the catch board, and if I could fan out his tail, I could get it to just touch the 12-inch mark. But before I could get a picture, it would kind of contract a little bit, and I tried 4 or 5 times and just wasn't going to get it to measure. So, I mean, it might have been a 16th or even a 32nd of an inch shy of 12, and I had to let him go. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit. I'm still going for that 5th scoreable fish. So then at 11:30, I come across this laydown in a shaded area, and I make this cast here, and I'm going to bring this lure parallel to this laydown, and this right here happened. So this is pretty awesome. I could tell immediately that this is a scoreable fish. So I get him in the boat, and you can obviously see here with the fist bump that I am excited over this. So I have finally got 5 scoreable fish. All I got to do is get this picture, and yeah, that happened. The triple Lundy off the catch board. Some of you will catch that triple Lundy reference. Wow, that was soul crushing. I think you can tell from my reaction that was pretty devastating. But there's still 2 hours to go, man. So I had to just suck it up, bury my despair, and keep grinding it. And unfortunately, I did not get another bite for the remaining 2 hours of the tournament. So I make my way back to the ramp and take out and preparing the boat to go home and rendezvous with the rest of the club at the picnic shelter so we could all tell our stories and find out who did what. And I'm going to be honest, I was feeling pretty down. Even though I had caught 8 bass on the day, 4 scoreable fish, you just can't give away 13 inches in a tournament. Just give it away. You can't fumble the ball on the goal line and expect to have any sort of a decent outcome. And so, we get back to the picnic shelter. We all just kind of start talking about our day and what we got and what we didn't get and what got away and so forth. And I was genuinely shocked to learn that my 50 point something inches was good enough for second place. I was still kind of shocked, to be honest with you. And the first thing I did when I learned of this, I don't check the leaderboard as I'm out fishing. What difference does it make to me what someone else is doing, right? The only thing that matters is what I'm doing. And so I didn't know. I had assumed that if I'm catching fish, everyone's catching fish. And so I didn't think 50 inches was going to hold for anything. But the first thing I did in Yakety Mac form is get on the leaderboard to see, did that escape fish, runaway fish, did it cost me? And it was a little bit of a relief to know it did not, even if I had not allowed it to escape, I still would not have had enough to take over first place, which was like 70. It was over 70 inches, barely over 70, I think. Still, it wasn't going to be enough for me. So that was a little bit of a relief, but as you can probably tell, it still bothers me that I let that happen. So that is the wrap up of tournament number 6, my best finish ever, and I've been doing this is my second season doing this now. Prior to that, I had a 3rd place finish, so this felt nice. My first time winning money, and you know the Jackson is a big reason for that. It put me into places that I always wanted to go but wouldn't because of the hassle, and now it's no longer a hassle. I stow that prop up into the haul and go right into those spots that I want to go to. That's my style of fishing. And when I was in there, I was in like 3 feet of water and a lot of grass and lily pads. There's no way that I would have navigated my old town there, but I used the paddle and maneuvered myself, positioned myself where I wanted to, and the result was I caught 3 fish in that pocket, and I tip my hat to the folks over at Jackson. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. I've got another tournament coming up here in 3 weeks. I'm familiar with this body of water. Hopefully that translates into something. You can bet I'll make a video on it and share the results of that with you guys. Thanks for watching again. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and share for me, please. And hey, look, no matter what you've got going on, I hope you'll always take some time to get outside and play.